Hi, I'm Bybreen and welcome back to this week's episode. Well, in this last week of September, we can breathe a sigh of relief. And the reason for this is because there are no major aspects or transits that are taking place in the skies. Over the last 4 weeks, the planets have really thrown down a gauntlet to all of us, challenging us to move forward to change and transformation in our core identity. And so we had quite a few planetary movements. So for example, we had the solar eclipse that took place on the 13th of September, and it opposed Chiron in Pisces. So it really is a chance for us to heal that wounded part of ourselves that's getting in our way, that prevents us from shining through our core identity. And then just 2 days ago, we had the solar eclipse, and that's in Aries. Here is the invitation for us to let go or soften the ego that enables us to move forward in a far more consensual and collaborative way so that we create win-win situations. Other transits that have taken place throughout September, we had Saturn that's gone direct into Sagittarius. So Saturn is the teacher, and Sagittarius is about reaching for our biggest dreams and our goals, and Saturn is here over the next 2 years to really help us make those dreams come true. We're still currently under a Mercury retrograde, which is taking place in Libra. So here, this is more about giving more thoughtful consideration to what it is that we want to say to other people. So when it moves forward on October the 9th, we've got clarity over the way that we want to communicate our vision and our mission to others. And then lastly, we have Venus is still in Leo and moves forward into Virgo on the same day on October the 9th. And so in this last week that Venus is occupying Leo, it's a chance for us to just reaffirm our values. What is it that we truly stand for? Be really confident within that. And so when Venus moves forward into Virgo, then it's really grounded. She is then grounded in what it is that she truly stands for. So that gives us a context in terms of the planetary movements that have taken place. And while we're pausing for this week, before there are more transits that take place next week, it's a great chance for us to think about, what is my future narrative? What is it that I want to be conveying to the world about who I am? You know, I'm doing my transformative work, which then allows me to move into that very authentic space. And so it's like having a blank canvas that you can either write on or paint on or sketch on this narrative for the next phase of your life. And while you're considering what the narrative could be, another thing to think about is, well, what legacy do you want to leave? Who is it that you want to be known for? So a question that you can ask yourself is, if I was to write myself a legacy letter, what would I say? So I'll leave you to think about that, because we're here, we have a purpose, we have a vision, we have a desire. So it's come to us for a particular reason. And so it's about how do we then manifest that and move that out into the world. And then, you know, when we get to those older stages in our life, when we're relaxing and reflecting on the last 80 or 90 years, it is about what you personally would love to be identified with. Now, that question can also be applied to companies. And so when we're looking at astrology, it's personal, but it's always public as well. So here we're looking at how could companies, institutions, and organizations begin thinking about how they can present their more authentic selves, but also what sort of legacy that they could leave. So recently there was a study about the future of work study. It was undertaken by somebody called Bill Jensen. And he also has a summit around this. And what he did was he went out and he interviewed 7,000 people from 35 countries around the world. And the core responses that he got back was employers are really keen to engage with their leadership team, be it the the senior executive, chief executive, or board of directors. And they really want to engage around how can organizations and the leadership team help employees be their best selves. How can they enable them to become far more free in their world of work, but also in their lives? And so it's a provocative question. It's one posed to the leadership team, because invariably in the world of work, it's about how does the company, organization, or institution engage with employees so it helps them meet their bottom line, which could be a financial bottom line, or it could be about the projection of a social mission. Whereas what we're beginning to see, particularly as the millennials are now growing up and moving into the world of work, is, well, actually, while I'm spending my time, could be, 8 hours plus per day at work, how am I personally benefiting within the world of work? And so there's somebody I want to introduce you to in terms of one of my personal favorite business leaders. His name is Ricardo Semler, and he's written 2 books. One of them is called Maverick, and the other one is called The 7-Day Weekend. He's a very astute and inspirational business leader, and he demonstrates emotional acumen as well as engagement of employees. And essentially, he has transformed the company, Senko is the name of the company, whereby he's created a place of nirvana, and he treats his employees as partners, as equals, but also as adults, and has created an environment where they are free to show up being who they are, and as a result of that have created a phenomenal environment in which to work in that answers the bottom line, but also answers what people cherish in their hearts. And so if you haven't come across him, Ricardo Semler, Maverick and The 7-Day Weekend, they are 2 books that I feel could really help you in your world of work. And so given that we're dealing with transforming the old way of being, which is very Saturnian, and looking at regenerating so that there's a new environment in which people can truly show up, which is about Pluto. So Pluto is currently in Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And so we have this energy of Pluto destroying the old ways in order for something else to be reborn that's going to revive and regenerate everybody and everything that it touches. And so within the world of work, astrology and its energies are showing up in a way that's inviting employees to be the best that they can so that they can instill confidence within the leadership team, and for the leadership team to really engage with employees so that they bring out their best selves. So it's a win-win situation. And as employees, it's, following that famous quote by Gandhi, be the change that you want to see. As much as you want your leaders to show trust and courage and empathy, you equally need to be that. So as you're going through your personal transformation, working with these energies, particularly that have shown up throughout September, this lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse, Chiron, Saturn, Mercury, and Venus, it's about using this time to create, reveal your authentic self, and so that can inspire your leadership team in also to show that within who they are. It's about creating that environment where everybody wins. So the quote I want to leave you with this week is by somebody called Michael Macmillan, and he said, "You cannot move to the next chapter of your life if you're still reading the last one." So what is it that you're still bringing forward from your past? Think about it in terms of your South Node. Your South Node is everything associated with your past, your ways of thinking, being, resources, ideas, characteristics that are no longer serving you, because we are now very much in this Libran energy, which is about harmony, relationships, love, trust, and balance. And so that's it for this week. I look forward to hearing your comments if you have any. Would love to engage with you, so put them in the comment box below. If you found this useful, share it with your network. Also subscribe to the channel, and I will leave you on that note and look forward to speaking to you again on the next episode.